Hey guys, this is Gaijin Hunter. In case you guys didn't know, there's a very exciting Monster Hunter game in the works right now, and that game is called Monster Hunter Stories. This title has an all-star cast. Heading up the story development and the creation of the world is Fujioka-san, who is the director on a lot of the main series titles. He's pictured on the left here. In the center is one of our favorite Monster Hunter producers, Tsujimoto-san, who is acting as lead producer on this title. And on the right is Oguro-san, who's actually been involved in a lot of the console games like Lost Planet. He is serving as director on this title. Now, if you haven't seen the amazing reveal trailer that they showed earlier this year, I urge you to go look at the link down in the description for this video before continuing onward. From this point, I'm going to talk about the story and the news as we've been revealed in the last issue of Famitsu. The concept's been about 5 years in the making, and to put it simply, it's a Monster Hunter RPG. It tells the story of a young hero or heroine who is training to become a monster rider. Upon receiving a bonding stone from the village elder, they head out on an adventure. And along for the journey is a comical feline called Nabiru. Through your journey, it becomes clear that something terribly wrong is going on in the natural environment, and it's up to you and your friend monsters to figure out what it is. The key to unraveling the threat and dealing with it is the bonding stone and the powers it has. You live in a village far away from the hunter's world. It's a village of farmers who have learned to live together with the friendly local monsters. The village features a colorful cast of characters, and you play as a boy or girl who is just now learning to become a monster rider. The game features an adventure with a vast world containing different locations. During your adventure, you will encounter monster eggs. If you grab them and bring one back to the village, you can hatch it to receive a new friendly monster to battle with. The baby monsters that you can find change as you progress through the game and enter new areas. Now, as you adventure, you generally walk around as yourself, but if your bond is strong enough between you and your monster, you'll be able to actually ride on them on the map, which will give you access to areas that you normally couldn't reach. What you can do in this game will greatly change depending on what monster you're with, so it makes even more sense that you want to go off and collect new monster eggs. We have confirmation at this point that you can ride a bunch of different monsters such as Congalala, Tigrex, Raytheon, Khezu, Rathalos, Velocidrome, and even the cute Yankutku. The battles in this game are all turn-based, and it's all about building a bond between you and your monster. Although you are there in battle and can participate and do certain skills with your weapons, it's really about the monsters. And the battle system is simple. You only have 3 commands to give: power attack, speed attack, or technique attack. They really wanted players to learn about the monsters and to take full advantage of their understanding of them. Now, they did mention in the latest issue of Famitsu that you can actually create a party of several monsters that you can travel with. However, when you go into battle, which is almost like an encounter-like system, you can only take one of them with you into battle once a time. You're able to actually switch them out during battle as well, so to me, it's kind of a little bit like Dragon Quest Monsters if you've played that game before. As you battle alongside your monster, the bond between the two of you will deepen. Once it's strong enough, you'll be able to activate a special sort of ability during battle called a ride. And when you ride on your monster, it greatly increases your attack and defense and allows you to use the powers within the bonding stone to activate some really crazy co-op attacks between you and your monster. In the game, you'll adventure to different towns, including even a hunter town, complete with a hunter's guild and hunters that, instead of riding with monsters, hunt them. So it brings sort of some interesting questions like, how do the hunters view the riders, and vice versa? They also mentioned that this game, although it does take place in the Monster Hunter universe, is an area that's totally different from the Monster Hunter world we've seen up till now, so they're able to have a little bit more freedom with where they go and what they do. The story really, again, revolves around the change in environment, and while the main series is about farming monsters for materials and getting them to stop bothering people, this story is much more intimate with the monsters, and it touches on things such as what would happen to civilizations if the monsters were to go away? Will they really, because they depend on them, you'd be surprised at how drastic your life would change without them. Producer Tsujimoto-san mentioned that they've been developing this concept for over 5 years, but there was really no way to convey the bond between a hunter and their monster through an action game, so they decided about 5 to 6 years ago to make it into an RPG game filled with adventure. Now, one thing that makes me really happy is in the interview they mentioned that they understand that it's the monsters that are the showcase of the series and who people are attached to. So they're not going to try to sell a story with characters and try to make them everything. The monsters indeed will take center stage for both the game system and the story for this game. And while they're keeping the tenets that sort of make this a Monster Hunter game, they realize that they can't be overly faithful, otherwise it wouldn't be a very interesting RPG. So they also want this game to be aimed at both players of all ages, veterans, and new players to Monster Hunter. This is why they chose this kind of soft and colorful palette and want to have a story that is more fun than serious. They started development on this title 2 years ago, like with a full development team, and is currently stated to be about 30% done. They've mentioned over and over again that this is going to be released sometime in 2016, so given what they're talking about, it probably sounds like it's going to be a year-end title. The game will be playable, however, at Tokyo Game Show this year, and they will have the Velocidrome, Yankutku, or the Congalala available to battle with. As a huge Monster Hunter fan, I'm incredibly excited for this title, and I will be covering it on this channel as we learn more about it. So I hope you guys stay tuned for more Monster Hunter Stories news. It might take a while until some more news comes, but I hope you enjoyed the introduction and the screenshots that we have now. Until then, happy hunting.